Graduands, welcome to your award ceremony. While you were waiting, we hope that you enjoyed the musical interlude performed by our Royal Conservatoire Brass Ensemble. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful day to celebrate the achievements of our graduands. To ensure you enjoy the proceedings, we just have a few requests and announcements. First of all, we are not expecting any testing of the fire alarm or any other disruption today, but if the alarm does sound or if there is an emergency, you'll be given directions by the nearest door steward so that you can proceed quickly and safely to the nearest emergency exit. Secondly, please turn all mobile phones to silent or switch them off completely. We welcome the taking of photos and video, but if you are doing so, please do not stand or block the view of others in the audience. We have more than 400 students graduating today, and each one who crosses the stage is really important to us. Please do clap and cheer as loudly as you wish so that as your graduate crosses the stage. And don't forget to allow others to do so without distraction when their graduate is crossing. The ceremony is expected to last approximately 1.5 hours. In our experience, small children can become restless during proceedings and sometimes even a little noisy. If your child does become unsettled, can we please ask you to move quietly out of the hall to our comfortable viewing area where you can still watch proceedings while attending to your child, in order that they do not distract other guests and graduands from their enjoyment. Your nearest door steward will be able to direct you. Graduands, this is important for you. You have been seated carefully and in a particular order to ensure that every person crosses the stage in the correct sequence. Please do stay in your assigned seats, and when you are asked to process out of your row, ready to cross the stage, please do not move out of your assigned order. It is absolutely essential that you are sitting in the seat indicating on your registration cards, and please do keep those cards with you as you leave the stage. If you have moved seat for any reason, please move back to your correct seat now. When you come back into the auditorium to enjoy the rest of the ceremony, it is likely that you will be sitting in a different seat, so please do not leave anything behind. Please be courteous to all those still to cross the stage by clapping and celebrating their achievements too. Please do not use mobile phones during the ceremony to text or make calls or to distract other graduands from enjoying the proceedings. Our stewards may ask you to put your phone away at times. Our graduation ceremonies are formal occasions that do follow a traditional format. They begin with a fanfare, following which the academic procession and the Vice-Chancellor's procession will enter the hall. At the end of the ceremony, once the Vice-Chancellor closes proceedings, could I please ask graduates to stand once again and for guests to remain in their places until the procession has exited the hall, after which you will be able to leave and join your party to celebrate your graduates' achievements. Please do enjoy the live music that we've arranged and the refreshments that are available in the circle levels of the Symphony Hall foyer. Now we are about to begin. Can I please ask everyone to stand, if you are able, as the processions enter the hall? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Philip Plout, and it's my great privilege to be the Vice-Chancellor of Birmingham City University and to declare this congregation open. Now, it's a well-hot Birmingham afternoon, so why don't you get sat down and comfortable, please. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, all of those of you who are gathered today to celebrate your graduations. I preside over this ceremony as Vice-Chancellor of the University, and I'm delighted to have the opportunity to participate in such a special celebration of what you have achieved. So, let me start by just welcoming you all to Birmingham City University's graduation ceremony. As you may know, we've not been able to hold any of these ceremonies since January 2020. So it's really special to be back here in Symphony Hall in the heart of Birmingham, and we're really proud to call this city our home. And graduation is always a pleasure because we all know that it is such a special day for all of you. It's a chance to celebrate for our graduands, for our university community, and above all for the friends, family and supporters who are here in such impressive numbers. But I have to say that this year, this summer's graduations have felt even more special because after 2 long years, we're now finally able to gather together in this magnificent venue, all of us together, to celebrate what you have achieved. So thank you so much. Thank you to the graduands who have made long journeys to get here, to all of you friends and family who have equally come back to Birmingham or made that always interesting trip across Birmingham in order to get here today. We're very grateful to you for joining us. And I know that those of you at this graduation have had one of the most unusual student journeys any of us have ever experienced. But it's great to be here now and in a position to give you the celebration that you deserve. This is absolutely your day, graduates. But I think we should start by acknowledging all of those who have supported you. So around me, just some of my academic colleagues from the relevant faculty of arts, design and media, less visible, all of our professional support staff who provide so much support to you in your academic journey. But even more so, all around us here, just some of the friends, the family and the supporters who are always essential as part of the support network in any academic study, but during the pandemic have been more important than ever. So graduates, I'm going to suggest that we say a huge thank you to all of them. So the period of your studies has been one where you've seen change on a grand scale. And in these graduation ceremonies, I do often, in the past, talk about change and the impact of change. But I feel hesitant in kind of having that conversation with you because you have lived it. You have seen how fast things can change, how radically change can happen, how we have all had to adjust. Change which has impacted on every aspect of all of our lives. But I hope that, notwithstanding the challenges that you have faced, your time at BCU is also going to be memorable for all the right reasons as well. The friendships that you have formed, the communities that you've been part of, and of course the learning that you have mastered, which is why we're here today. And I hope, and I know that many of you are probably out there starting your career already, but I hope that as part of that, you never forget the scale of your achievement. Because what we're celebrating here this year isn't just the academic achievement, considerable though that is. What we're celebrating is your determination, your adaptability, and your resilience under unprecedented circumstances. Those are amazing skills to have, and that is a great thing for us to be able to celebrate, because it will stand you in great stead for your futures. But of course, notwithstanding all the challenges around us, the world has continued to develop, and the university has developed as well. Down on our City South campus, we've continued to develop our health and life sciences facilities. And for many of you, I don't know if you've yet had a chance to see it, up on the city centre campus, the old Belmont Works building is now back in use as part of our STEAM House project, which brings together the kinds of disciplines that you represent around arts and design and creativity, and puts them alongside science and technology and engineering, so that the two different kinds of cultures can inform one another, and we can get that creative friction that is going to be the source of future innovation. Birmingham has, of course, been hard hit by the pandemic, but I'm not sure you would know it at the moment. Much of the last couple of weeks has, of course, been the hugely successful Commonwealth Games. And it's been wonderful to see a city which is often self-deprecating and doesn't like to put itself forward, unlike some others. It's been great to see that city performing with such confidence and such style on an international stage. And if you haven't already had a selfie with the now iconic bull on the other side of Centenary Square, make sure you do it before you go. And of course, that bull sits against a backdrop of new developments, whether the City Library from a few years ago, Paradise Circus, which is springing up all around us, or indeed here at Symphony Hall, where we've seen an extension to the performance and the social spaces. And it's a wonderful time to be in Birmingham. And because BCU is so deeply part of our city, it's no surprise to see how our students were such an integral part of the Games. And actually, I know I'm talking to exactly the right group of students here when I celebrate the fact that it was our costume design students that created the costumes for the opening event of the Birmingham 2022 Festival, Wondrous Stories, and our jewellery students up at the iconic and unique School of Jewellery that continued a long heritage of medal making right here in the city by designing the medals which the athletes were presented with on the podium. Samantha Oxborough, who left our conservatoire a couple of years ago, sang the national anthem at the opening ceremony. Laura Mvula, who graduated from the conservatoire a few more years before that, sang in the closing ceremony. They're links which reinforce the point that we are the university for this city, and that much of what we do is underpinned by the rich creative heritage that you represent. And if we've learnt one thing from the last couple of years, it's that knowledge is important, that what happens in universities is important, that we need research, we need knowledge creation, we need the development of new practices. And that's not just, most importantly, of course, that is the speed at which the new vaccines were developed to help moderate the impact of the pandemic. But look at the whole way in which the creative industries adjusted on the fly to deal with completely different ways of working. That's an amazing thing. Knowledge, I think, has never been more important to us, and that's something that each of you provides evidence of as you celebrate your graduation today. And that's why it's so important that we did have this ceremony. It's why we get togged up in this slightly unusual academic outfit. It's a way of reinforcing a sense of ceremony, because what you've achieved needs to be memorable. It needs to be ceremonious. Because graduates are important. The research tells us that in every society, graduates are at the heart of those societies. They live longer. The research says that graduates are more productive, that graduates contribute more to society around them. They're more likely to volunteer, to vote, and to lead. Graduates, so the research says, have better health, although I should add that the research also does say that graduates drink less. But above all, graduates are best placed to deal with change. And many of you, I hope all of you, are going to live long, long lives. But what that means is that during your lives, the world around you is going to change, not once, but many, many times. You'll probably not have one career, but many careers. And you're often going to need to master new skills and new knowledge and to learn afresh. And that's where being a graduate is so important, because you have the skills that equip you to learn, you have the habits of learning. And today what we're celebrating is not just your remarkable achievement. We're also celebrating your remarkable potential, what you're going to go on to achieve in your futures. Now, our history as an institution dates back to 1843 and the wonderfully named Birmingham Government School of Design. And we were created almost 180 years ago in order to help the manufacturers of what was even then becoming one of the great workshops of the world to compete globally. And of course, during those decades, we have changed often and often, but we've stayed true to that founding purpose. We remain focused on learning that makes a difference in the world, in ensuring that our graduates all around the world make a difference in their societies. And my challenge to you today is that today is a day of personal celebration. It's a day when it is entirely right that we celebrate what you have achieved. But see it also as part of a broader commitment, a future commitment, a commitment to transforming the world around us. You've all seen the IAMBCU images around the campus, and that doesn't come from us up here. It actually comes from the student body. And when we talked to students about what IAMBCU meant, they said it meant pride, it meant confidence, but above all, the word that they used, more than any other, was belonging. So IAMBCU isn't just a slogan, it's about being part of an extraordinary family, a wonderful community. And you'll always be part of our BCU community and of our alumni body. But that's quite enough from me. Today is absolutely your day, because it's the day when you get to celebrate the fact that notwithstanding everything that was thrown at you, you achieved what you set out to do all those years ago. And that's a remarkable achievement. And you have my warmest congratulations. Very well done. I now call upon the Pro-Vice Chancellor and Executive Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Design and Media, Professor Lawrence Zegan, to commence the presentation of award holders, and on the Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Julie MacLeod, to receive the students.
Vice-Chancellor, as Pro-Vice Chancellor and Executive Dean, I present students from the Faculty of Arts, Design and Media who have qualified for the award of degrees, diplomas and certificates. I commence by presenting the candidate for the award of research degree, for the award of Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled Making Art Public, Musicality and the Curatorial, I present Dr. Ed McEwen. I now invite Associate Professor Jeremy Hobbins to the lectern to present award holders from the Birmingham Institute of Jewellery, Fashion and Textiles.
Master of Arts in Fashion Styling, Georgia McKennoy Denham. Chrissy Murden. Emily Ogborn. Priyanka Prajapati. Nicola Jane Reed. Hannah Bartlett. Rashida Hurlahia. Stephanie Payne. Lakeisha Providence. Alexandra Tolman. Master of Arts in Fashion Promotion, Morgan Blythe. Charlotte Chambers. Sadia Kabir. Alicia Kashka. Abigail Millard. Simea Noreen. Catherine Sawyer. Callum Stokes. Yushin Sao. Leona Vernon. Master of Arts in Luxury Brand Management, Hu Doi Ando. Hu Wei Ligo. Tanchanak Jaru Tipa Yankata. Krupta Lalit Kachalia. Dolalapo Ladani. Joshua Lu. Sarah Jane Paskin. Danielle Richardson. Rahul Sapra. Narul Desi Karina Sari. Khadija Azam. Sonia Bakshi. Chao Chen. Ching Yi Ip. Gurpreet Kaur. Navjot Kaur. Wei Liu. Temitupe Ugun Sheyetun. Kushbu Palmer. Rimalpreet Kaur. Grace Roy. Jihi Jeng. Anuja Zodj. Master of Arts in Fashion Management with Professional Placement, Munika Bongarala. Master of Arts in Luxury Jewellery Management, Yana Butcher. Amelia Morehouse. Omolara Oyedele. Master of Arts in Fashion Design, Natasha Bedwood. Master of Arts in Textiles and Surface Design, Georgia Addy. Samina Ashgar. Sophie Clark. Isabel Homer. Alexandra Littlehales. Lily Purslow. Master of Arts in Fashion and Textile Design, Claire Buchanan. Master of Arts in Garment Technology, Amira Khan. Master of Arts in Jewellery and Related Products, Sasha Jin. Eugene. Hannah Rosinka. Yemin Sun. Tai Teng. Yan Wu. Yi Feng Zhang. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Fashion Design, Yasmin Bel Hassan. Chloe Buckley. Noah Corbett. Alavina Dar. Megan Davidson. Shanice Harris. Bakati Jadab. Gemma Kerslake. Tamara Manley. Ashley Miller. Leah Moss. Andre Naganjo. Wade Remy. Harvinder Ropra. Catherine Wright. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Fashion Design with Design for Performance, Nina Machikaiti. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Fashion Design with Garment Technology, Bobby Jo Dickinson. Emily Savage. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Fashion Design with Fashion Communication, Olivia Bennett. Brandy Blackwood. Zarashay Bramble. Saffron Brown. Shania Hackshaw. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Fashion Design, Emma Ahern. Munawara Akil. Abina Antwe. Georgia Bailey. Deborah Louise Bowe. Ellie Jo Bowley. Olivia Bratton. Jourdain Brownhill. Harry Buswell. Harry Buswell. Georgina Keynes. Anna Marie Keogh-Carlin. Benedita Serrano. Fabiola de Souza. Ashliana Dunort Singh. Khalees Douglas Simmons. Sophie Drinkwater. Maria Elena Isa. Kaylee Empson. Sophia Fletcher. Yumna Khan. Andrea Kiss. Dylan Lal. Leirakni Lawal. Alvina Lewis Robinson. Rihanna Linton Edmonds. Amelia McDowell. Molly Meacham. Bongiwe Moseu Nawane. Aliha Muhammad. Stephanie Nalumansi. Abida Nasifa. Maisie O'Dowd. Richard Saki. Lauren Patterson. Keris Price. Hannah Price. Sarah Ravat. Charlotte Rowland. Mariam Shafi. Liberty Smith. Rhiannon Smith. Siona Tomlinson. Leonie Weisters. Demi Whittam. Sarah York. Lydia Younas. Bachelor of Arts in Fashion Design, Huma Chowdhury. Bethan Griffith. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Garment Technology, Lama Bawab. Lily Gill. Alexia Hales. Heidi Humphreys. Chloe Pitt. Yasmin Rakib. Jessica Elizabeth Rayner. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Costume Design and Practice, Isabel Barnes. Jessica Bayliss. Emily Burns. Suzanne Deere. Grace Fernio. Catherine Frampton. Mia Gibson. Abigail Hart. Crystal Helland. Georgia Latham. Caitlin Madden. Shannon Scarlett Manning. Evelyn McCool. Joanna Smith. Cora Williams. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Fashion Design, Hannah Green. Leah Hinton. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Fashion Branding and Communication, Scott Adams. Abla Amid Ibieri. Aisha Altundra. Line Baker. Pollyanna Batkin. Millie Bird. Lauren Brown. Renee Bryant Mulcair. Eleanor Burford. Jessica Cooper. Alice Cross. Mia Doherty. Jessica Eaton. Milana Golubova. Hannah Greenway. Ishmael Harimana. Arabella Higgs. Gabriella Hyde. Kieran Kaur. Jacob Levine. Jennifer Lewis. Gelmira Manico. Molly Eve Meacham. Shania Mohan. Victoria Grace Parry. Amy Pickles. Maya Powell. Phoebe Pratt. Amber Speak. Isabella Spencer. Chloe Williams. Nia Williams. Hannah Yathai. Lauren Young. Bachelor of Arts in Fashion Branding and Communication, Ashfan Afzal. Darl Custodio. Diploma of Higher Education in Fashion Branding and Communication, Demi Marshall. Master of Arts in Fashion Management, Ishita Reddy. And this completes the first presentation of awards to graduates from the Birmingham Institute of Jewellery, Fashion and Textiles.
This completes the first presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Art, Design and Media. I now invite the Vice-Chancellor to introduce the recipient of the Honorary Doctorate of the University.
We are this afternoon delighted to be conferring the award of Doctor of the University upon Julian Dunkerton, and I now call upon the Executive Dean to give the citation.
Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, graduands, today we confer the degree of Honorary Doctor of Birmingham City University, honoris causa, on Julian Dunkerton. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a pub quiz question. Which famous clothing line is designed in Americana style with Japanese characters, has more than 500 stores in 61 countries and is valued at more than £550 million, and is worn by celebrities that include David Beckham, Leonardo DiCaprio and Idris Elba? You've guessed it, Superdry. And we're delighted to welcome our guest of honour this afternoon to the man who started it all, Julian Dunkerton. Entrepreneurship runs in his family. Born in London, then moved to Herefordshire when his father and stepmother set up an organic cider business. At the tender age of 19, Julian founded his first fashion chain, Cult Clothing, and began to take an interest in politics. 3 times during the early 90s, he stood as a Labour candidate in the Cheltenham Council elections. As you'll hear, his political instincts and sense of social justice have never left him. It was in 2003, after a trip to Japan, that the idea for Superdry came into being. Something about the Japanese instinct for clean lines, classical cuts, subdued colours, and striking symbolism struck a chord. The result was a brand that quickly became the epitome of sharply made, resilient urban cool. Fittingly, the first Superdry store opened in Covent Garden in 2004. With its universal appeal, the company expanded rapidly, reaching the point in 2010 where it was floated on the London Stock Exchange. With success came awards. Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year in 2010, CEO of the Year for the 2011 UK Stock Market Awards, PLC Entrepreneur of the Year in 2013. But of course, these stories are never stories of an unbroken march to success. To be an entrepreneur is to take risks and then take on the chin the consequences of risk. Expansion brought difficulties. Plans for new store openings were reviewed, the share price tumbled. Julian stepped down from the CEO role while retaining the largest shareholding and working as product development director. Other business opportunities beckoned. He took control of the family cider business, moving it to new premises in Gloucestershire. A hospitality group emerged in the shape of the gloriously named Lucky Onion Group. 5 years on, defying the adage that you should never go back, he began again as CEO of Superdry, determined to revive the great project he'd started. It's still bumpy. The supply chain issues we hear about in the news affect Superdry as much as anyone else. Realising that business leaders have their part to play in leading opinion, as well as profit margins and customer satisfaction, Julian has been a vocal supporter of the free trade our country used to enjoy until the frictions of Brexit took their toll. And later today, at 5 o'clock, on BBC Radio 4's PM programme, in an interview recorded just this morning, you can hear more on Julian's views on the trials and tribulations of Brexit, so I encourage you to tune in. It's not only his area of social concern. For years, questions have been asked about the fashion industry's implication in global injustice and climate change. Superdry, an industry leader in sustainability and ethical practice, is determined to answer those questions. As Julian himself has put it, we have an obligation to make better choices to effect positive change for present and future generations. One way of securing such change, of course, is to engage with the change makers of the future, the emergent professionals who carry the torch of environmental and social responsibility into the future. And that is why we at the university are so grateful for the support so generously given by Superdry to our students, whether in adjudicating catwalks, sharing Padlet designs or giving virtual masterclasses during the darkest days of lockdown. Ladies and gentlemen, it's quite something for our students graduating today to share their celebration with a man who in so many ways represents the ideal they now aim to emulate. The ideal, that is, not just of global success, of recognition, of walking the walk in a field where so many stumble and fall, but an ideal of what it means to succeed the hard way, to start up and carry an idea through, to see out the turbulent times, to adapt and prosper again. To do all this mindful of the ethical responsibilities you have to the world and all around you. These are the marks of real success. So distinguished guests, colleagues, graduands, it gives me great pleasure to invite the Vice-Chancellor to confer the degree of Honorary Doctor of Birmingham City University, honoris causa, on Julian Dunkerton.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as Vice-Chancellor, I exercise the authority of the University's Academic Board, and I therefore confer the award of Doctor of the University honoris causa on Julian Dunkerton. And I invite you, Pro-Vice-Chancellor, to present the commemorative medal. That completes the conferment of the award of Doctor of the University honoris causa, and I will now get out the way and invite Julian to address the congregation. Julian.
I've got to start with the formal bit, which is Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for inviting me. It's a wonderful honour to be here. So I really want to take you further back to my very humble beginnings. I want to inspire you to show you that actually you can start with nothing in this industry and end up where I've ended up. Because I went to a difficult school, difficult comprehensive, didn't do very well, took the wrong subjects at A-level, took physics, chemistry and biology thinking I was going to be a doctor, got 3 E's, and didn't know what I was going to do. I was lucky enough to be born in London, and then I moved to Herefordshire when I was about 14. But it wasn't easy. It was a difficult transition, and the one thing I had that I brought with me from London was a knowledge of a fashion sort of excitement that wasn't in the provinces. So I had a sort of natural advantage in a way, and I then went travelling. I earned money. I went and worked in factories and so on and earned money and went travelling and came back and thought, right, what am I going to do? I don't want to go to university. I'm not good enough to go to university, so I better look after myself. And there was something at the time called the Enterprise Allowance Scheme, which was a £40 a week grant from the government. And really it was a manipulation from the government to try and get you off the dole figures at the time. But anyway, I was very grateful for the £40 a week. And I borrowed £2,000. I then persuaded somebody else with £2,000 to come into business with me. And I started moving clothes from the markets of London back to Herefordshire at the time. And I did that for about a year, and I just found I was very good at it. I was good at knowing what people wanted and really enjoyed the process of buying and selling, because that's what I was doing at the time. But it was just within our fashion arena, if you like. I then bought out got bought out of that company by my then partner, paid back the £2,000, and arrived in Cheltenham with quite a reasonable sum of money at the time. I think I earned the equivalent of about £16,000 in those days, which is 1984, was actually quite a lot. I think the grants in those days were about £2,000. Well, you don't remember grants, but they were great once upon a time. Anyway, it was a reasonable amount of money, and then in Cheltenham, I started on an indoor market stall and doing much the same thing. Anyway, long story short, I built it up and I built it up, and I bought a shirt, bought 2, bought 4, bought 8, bought 16, and kept going and going and going until I started this chain called Cult Clothing. And it became probably the most successful student-ish chain in the UK. Birmingham was my third shop. It went Cheltenham, Oxford, Birmingham, and I think Cambridge, and then Edinburgh, and anyway, long story. But look, it shows you that if you start with nothing, but you have a clear vision and you have a really strong work ethic, that anything is possible. And people may say, oh, it was easy in those days. But it wasn't, because it's exactly the same today as it was then. You're competing against the world, you're competing against the town, you're competing against the city, wherever you may be. It's about hard work, it's about spotting a gap in the market, it's about fulfilling that gap in the market, and thinking about other people. Because altruism is the key to fashion success. You have to think about other people before yourself. It's not about your new car, it's not about your whatever, your lifestyle. It's about delivering something that other people want. Now, I think, and I've been in many industries now, I used to own Massive Records. I don't know if some of you may remember. Massive Records was a chain of record stores back in the 90s. Soho Coffee, that was me. So that's still going, that's global. So I've done a lot of things. But there is nothing quite like this industry. This industry is the industry to keep your brain active, to keep you excited. You never get there. It's always changing. So you think you've cracked it and then you have to move on. And the ability to adapt oneself and intellectualize about what's actually happening in the wider world will enable you to have a fantastic career in what's going to be the most exciting industry on the planet. I can't recommend it enough. I love it. I live and breathe it. And it's a journey. It's not an end. You never get there. It's always perpetually changing. And it's a wonderful, wonderful experience to be part of it. So some of you may come and work in sunny Cheltenham, where I live. And I hope you do. But more importantly, I hope you embrace this industry and get the most you can from it, because it is a wonderful industry to be in. So anyway, thank you very much for inviting me. I am truly honoured. So thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am now delighted to invite Professor Lawrence Egan to continue the presentation of award holders from the faculty.
I invite Associate Professor Jeremy Hobbins to return to the lectern to continue to present award holders from the Birmingham Institute of Jewellery, Fashion and Textiles.
Bachelor of Arts with honours in Fashion, Business and Promotion, Rahila Ahmed. Alia Akhtar. Chloe Arnold. Amy Arthur. Terry Ashford. Wenyu Dong. Zoe Bird. Genevieve Bowen. Megan Bromage. Julia Bikovska, Isabella Castronovo, Manpreet Chana, Harriet Chandler, Kirsty Clark, Shasmin Cole, Rianne Coleman, Madeline Rose Crichton Fuller, Melissa Davies, Claudia Davis, Olivia Donkin, Holly Drake, Grace Duval, Alicia Erdley, Shimran Garcha, Isabel Eaton, Laura Gator, Verity Goodman King, Olivia Gregory, Molly Griffiths, Anna Hall, Beth Henning, Kylie Hill, Victoria Holland, Anelia Christova, Alicia Hussein, Jessica Johnson, Kirsty Johnson, Olivia Johnson, Kyriakos Kalis Panasar, Katie Lee Camvady, Aisha Khan, Lipa Karnom, Amber Knight, Victoria Koshinska, Holly Lacey, Jennifer Martin, Katie Mayhook, Shannon McAlinden, Nicola McCarthy, Jessica McEwen, Molly Millin, Amy Mystery, Shirley Moe, Eleanor Morby, Georgia Nation, Daisy Needham, Katie Newsom, Honor Nichols, Sophia Noel Tracy, Janova Ola Rowland, Lyra Ordinario, Emily Orr, Princess Nicole Owashu Afriji, Elizabeth Parsons, Alexandra Penn, Megan Lily Pound. Evie Richards. Abby Richardson. Naomi Rowai. Zoel Sego. Simran Zahota. Jada Paris Salmon. Lydia Sanders. Lydia Shepherd. Deborah Silvetti. Lauren Sinar. Kira Snailus. Oliver Southall. Lucy Spencer. Kerry Stevenson. Phoebe Swinfield. Olivia Grace Waits. Emily Williams. Yasmin Williams. Francesca Werman. Aida Shazwin Zamri. Bachelor of Arts in Fashion, Business and Promotion, Shauna Wright. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Textile Design, Caitlin Agnew. Maya Agnihotri. Paige Armour. Nicole Barkley. Olivia Bell. Sydney Besant. Katie Boak. Estelle Booth. Maya Christie. Holly Crara. Emily de Abreu Jardim. Hannah Gartland. Lucy Giles. Andrea Gonzalez. Isabel Greathead. Sarah Harper. Rose Heslin. Emily Higgs. Katie Hodgetts. Jennifer Hotchkiss. Gina Johal. Fiona Jukes. Anne Mulcair. Alice King. Josephine Lawrence. Rachel Lawton. Alicia Lebelego. Galatia Lubrica. Jessica Mansbridge. Aisha Mogul. Charlotte Murphy. Scarlett Oakes. Grace Oliver. Tia Palmer. Maisie Postlethwaite. Anisha Rai, Bethany Rice, Penfia Rodriguez, Stephanie Rubach, Amy Rushton, Keely Russell, Nisha Sahib, Charlie George Walker, Tia Watson, Pimpilai Rongprakot, Bachelor of Arts in Textile Design, Pascaline Amar, Taya Dawkins, Adorna Renford, Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Horology, Nicholas Eagle, Benjamin Newman, not me, Sean Richards, Louis Sorrell, Andrea Barascu, Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Jewellery and Objects, Amal Amir, Baran Basiluik, Wailam Chan, Charlotte Cowling, Emily Doherty, Jayin Hay, Rosie Jihan, Jialiang Liu, Anjali Santa Ana, Shi Ying Tan, Kalagrit Tuchagrit, Chao Chan Su, Hannah Turner, Jing Wang, Wei Jing Wang, Jadi Wang, Julie Wei, Yidan Chu, Yi Chia Jiao, Ji Zheng Zhu, Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Jewellery and Silversmithing Design for Industry, Abigail Burville, Imogen Fisher, Rebecca Forster, Ellie Hersin Krebs, Nicola Lee, Owen Lee, Chen Liang, Isabel Pilkington, Rebecca Pilot, Molly Ross, Holly Suter, Bonnie Talbot, Morgan May Townsend, Larry Tynan, Chloe Whiting, Bachelor of Science with Honours in Gemology and Jewellery Studies, Diane Amfit-Rolls. Ella Clark. Amy Gray. Negin Hashimi. Joseph Huggins. Ryan Kiddle. Wing Yan Law. Joanne Moore. Mududusi Nudluvu. Patricia Politsai. Brianna Quinn. Hannah Ratcliffe. Sarah Thornilio. Naomi Wainwright. Higher National Diploma in Jewellery and Silversmithing, Urujoa Eshun. Parvina Lloyd. Joseph McCann. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Media Production, Kingsley Ogbonna. And this completes the presentation of awards to graduates from the Birmingham Institute of Jewellery, Fashion and Textiles.
This completes the presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Arts, Design and Media, and I now invite the Vice-Chancellor to close the proceedings.
It's been a long time coming. I think we deserve an even bigger round of applause for everyone who's graduating. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's never a clever idea to come between you and the next stage of your celebrations outside this hall. But before I pull this congregation to a close, I wonder if we could just say a huge thank you to our amazing musicians. As Vice-Chancellor, I now declare this congregation closed. Again, my warm congratulations to all of you. And I'd now be grateful if you could stand while the stage processions leave the hall. Thank you.